Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into the high-low setup on the matrix filler. So it'll come with the high-low pumps, whatever your configuration is going to be, 1 to 6. Usually a matrix frame looks like that. Sometimes you'll have some big valves like this, depending on what you're filling, and then the tray. It'll also come with some hardware. This tool is used to adjust wheels. We got a bunch of videos on that. It'll also come with a 3mm wrench used for any of these black screws on the machines. Also, what we like to use is 3mm drivers, and then also like a 532 Allen wrench. We normally like to use the driver too, just because it's easy to mess with the pumps. So when you do get your machine, it'll come with the machine, your pumps, valves if you got them, any custom trays you got done, nozzle configurations depending on what you're filling, and your cabinet, and of course a laptop for controls. Okay, so when you get the machine, you want to use 2 people, lift from the base here, and put it on your table. And then you will have some cables you need to connect in. So we'll dive into that now. So they'll usually be coiled up or coiled up down here on the platform. And what you want to do is they'll all be labeled kind of like this guy here. This guy will be labeled as X-axis, and you'll want to plug it into that X-axis slot. And I'll kind of show you that now. Whenever you're doing this, make sure your power is off. Obviously, it wouldn't be on right now because we're just hooking up cables. That's the first thing you want to do. And they're basically filled connectors like this. It'll be labeled X-axis, and it could only go in one way. You do have a slot up here, so kind of rotate it if you need to, and then go ahead and slide this wing nut or slide this nut on there just to kind of secure it in. You'll go ahead and do that for the X-axis, Y-axis, X limit, Y limit. And then if you have a Z-axis, and on the 60-inch system, we also have a Y-axis too, which is this guy here. And then right here, since this is a high-low system, these cables are already pre-wired. So when you get the cabinet, the pump system here will already be pre-connected. If you do want to take it off for some reason, you can use a Phillips screwdriver, a little micro one, almost like a glasses screwdriver, and unscrew the 4 black bolts here. This cable will pop off for the encoder, and unscrew this cable down here for the power to the motors. But when we ship it with these connected, and this will be sitting right next to the cabinet for you. Next is the USB. You want to make sure to plug in this USB. Now plug it in that USB, and then also make sure this USB is plugged in before powering up the laptop. If you lift the top on this laptop and it automatically turns on, and your USB is not plugged in, go ahead and reset it, because it's going to connect to the cabinet when the laptop boots up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you how I did that. I'm going to go ahead and go to this corner here and click on it and then hit shutdown. And I'm just going to hit shutdown on here too. It's going to go ahead and just shut down the laptop. Okay, I've got this USB plugged in, this USB plugged in. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn on that laptop. Okay, so we have all our field connectors plugged in. We got our laptop on, our USB plugged in. Depending on how electrical goes, the high-low pumps do run on 220. So if your electrician wired it to a disconnect, or if you're using a plug, go ahead and plug that in now. And then over here on this side, we do have some buttons here. So you do have like a nice on-off. Green light status. If you do hit on and you don't have a green light, normally call us. That's a status. Or the other thing it is the e-stop's down. And so if that e-stop's down, it's going to kill power to everything. You could go ahead and just twist it. You can see there's a little arrow on there. You just want to twist it and it'll pop up to be powered back up. So on, off, and then your e-stop. So now I got my cabinet plugged in. I got it switched to on. My laptop booted up, and all my things are plugged in. Now, next thing you want to do is go ahead and I'm going to close down some of these tabs. Next thing you want to do is look at your user interface, and up here it should say alarm. If it says select port or idle, go ahead and double check your USBs and make sure they're plugged in and you did reboot the laptop. If it does say select port, it's because the USB was not plugged in when it was booting up. That's probably one of our #1 phone calls we get. So now what you want to do is, if it does say alarm, go ahead and hit your home button. And what that's going to do is start moving your axes for you. You can see that one's kind of going up. Then it's going to go ahead and move right to left. And then this guy's going to go ahead and move back and forth. Okay, and once that's done, it's going to say idle. From here, I could go ahead and open up programs and get stuff running. And you can see that in part 2.